And men's MLAX takes off tomorrow for Durham. They'll be taking on the Blue Devils at Koskinen Stadium on Saturday at 2 o'clock. Always a good one when Cuse and Duke get together on the Lax Field. With that, we bring on our next guest. He is the Orange leading scorer out of the midfield. He is Michael Leo. Thanks so much for hopping on today, Michael.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. Well, we were just discussing this during the break. If you heard, you are a Michael. What? So Michael, not Mike. We want to make sure we're addressing you properly here to make sure we got the right thing.
Yeah, Michael's good.
Okay, so there we are. Michael Leo with us. Let's go through this midfield line right now. You and Luke Roa and Sam English. What's the chemistry between you three been like this season?
Yeah, I mean, it's been awesome. Last year we were in a midfield group. Luke was on the second line. And then we always had such a good relationship. We're in the same row together in the locker room. We're always chatting up. So, yeah, we just have a good time together. We always shoot together. We're always hitting the wall, always just throwing the ball around and manly. So I think that chemistry off the field definitely brings some more chemistry on the field. That
certainly shows out there, and you've been leading the way for that group this season. You've all been contributing at a high rate. And then we go back to Saturday against Cornell. Tough loss for you guys against the number one team in the country. And, man, what we always know, right, in lacrosse, at some point it's going to come down to whether a midfielder can beat a short stick. And you and Luke Roa got a lot of opportunities. What was that like on Saturday where they were basically forcing you two to have the ball, it felt like, the whole game?
Yeah, they did a good job. I thought we could have done a lot better offensively. But we went over the film this week, and we saw the things we needed to improve on, and we know we need to be better. But I think it's just sharing the ball more. I mean, I got to do a better job of sharing the ball more, and I do get that short stick matchup and really focus on drawing a slide and moving the ball forward to create others' opportunities. So I think we'll be fine in the future.
How tough is that balance, right, Michael, where – like, in theory, like, the matchup's there, right? Like, in many ways, the right lacrosse move is for you to take the matchup when it's also, like, the other side of your brain is like, all right, let's try to keep it within the framework of the offense. How tough is that balance of things when it's coming at you in real time?
Yeah, I mean, it's not that tough, I would say. I think it's more of just trusting the other five guys around you in the offensive set. Like I said before, if I have a short stick, I'm really going to focus on drawing that slide. And if the slide does come, move it forward so one of my teammates around me can make a good decision. Or if they don't slide, then it's my job to beat my guy and hopefully score.
Let's look back at the last 2 weekends here a little bit. There's the Cornell game, which, you're rallying back. You can never quite regain contact with them. And then there's the Notre Dame game, right? You got jumped early, but then, blew past them and held them off. What do you notice is the difference where, man, the Notre Dame game, I'm going to guess you'd agree that's the best you guys have played all season. Obviously, Cornell's number one. What do you look at what went right one week versus what was just a little bit off last week?
Yeah, I mean, Notre Dame, it's easy to get excited for those big games, especially in the Dome. But I think Cornell was going on a bunch of runs, and we just couldn't match their runs. So we'll learn from that when we're still going to be firing either whatever team we play. So I'm just excited to get back to Duke this week, and then hopefully we get on these guys early.
Man, it feels like, Michael, every year this Duke game is nuts, right? Like, you go back a decade and it's just 1-goal games and overtimes and craziness. What is it about it when you and Duke get together that gives us such good lacrosse?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big ACC rivalry, obviously. They're fighting for a spot in the ACC tournament, and we're fighting for an ACC regular season championship. So it's going to be good. It's going to be fun to watch. I'm excited to get down there.
You mentioned those immediate goals, and we've kind of talked about it with the guys all season long. Like, we go back before the season, and we know the big picture goals, right, of Final Four and championship, and you guys really kind of zoomed in, right, midway through the season. How important has that concept been to you guys here for the last month and a half or so?
Yeah, I mean, super important. The biggest thing is just to focus on this game coming up. I think when we looked ahead too much, we kind of we just lost focus in a sense. But now that we've focused on just the next day, next practice, like tomorrow we got practice, so we're going to focus on that practice, the pregame practice. And then once we get to Saturday, we're going to focus on beating Duke. So I think that's helped us a lot just to remain focused in that situation.
And I feel like in this season in college lacrosse specifically, Michael, as Michael Leo is our guest, like that kind of has to be the way. Like some years, I look at last year, like everybody knew Notre Dame was the team. Like eventually, if you wanted to win the title, you were going to have to beat them. This year, it just feels so wide open, right? That like if you're not focused on every little day, it doesn't matter, right? If there's one big bad team out there.
Yep.
How do you handle that thought here going forward? Where you look at it, it's Duke, it's Carolina. You mentioned the ACC tournament. That I mean, you're in this big mix here. That we were talking with Terry Foy of Inside Lacrosse yesterday. He's like, there's probably 10 teams that can win the national title this year, which is not normally the case right now. How do you look at this scene when you're looking at college lacrosse and you see so many great teams out there right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just shows the game and is kind of growing. Everyone wants to just play Division I lacrosse, so there's so many good players coming out of high school now where anyone can go anywhere. It's not just Syracuse, it's not just Duke, and every team's going to be good. So now when you're playing, you can't look ahead of teams and think like, oh, it's not Duke, it's not Notre Dame. There's a lot of teams out there that can compete with anyone.
All right, tell us what it's like playing with your classmate in Joey Spallina, who's fast rising up the all-time Syracuse scoring list. When you're on the field with him, what's that chemistry like, and what does he do for you guys on offense?
Yeah, I mean, he has a great sense of IQ. He's great with the ball on his stick, great vision, draws a lot of attention, and you can always trust him whenever he has the ball. So he's only getting better. He works his tail off, and I'm excited to see what he can do this week versus Duke.
And he's a guy that, from the outside, right, it all seems to land on him, right? The 22 and all that stuff. How has he handled that? Because that's a lot, right? Like, you've seen him have to deal with that going back to his freshman year.
Yeah, I mean, he handles it great. I mean, there's never a problem with him not handling it the right way. He's been wearing 22 his whole life, so I think it's kind of just like a number to him. And I think all that outside noise, I think he just uses it as motivation. And he handles it the right way. I mean, when he has like 10 points, he kind of shuts everyone up. So I think he's doing just fine, and I'm happy for him.
I want to ask you about the young guy that's on the attack unit right now as well. That's Peyton Anderson. He's kind of been like a bull in a china shop here the last month, and I mean that in a good way. What kind of added element has that added for you guys on offense since he got put out there?
Yeah, Peyton's been great. I think the biggest thing for him was just having confidence that he's such a big boy and he can run by anyone. He shoots the heck out of the ball, and he brings such a physical presence out there with us. And I think we need that. So he's another guy that can draw a slide for us and create offense for us. So he's only a freshman, which is pretty cool to see. I mean, he has sophomore, junior, and senior year, but he's awesome, and I'm excited for his future.
Yeah, and it feels like to me, right, like his game is different enough from the rest of you guys that it forces defenses to act a little bit different, right? How have you noticed the defenses having to switch up a bit since that style of physical dodging got added in there?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest question is with us is if they're getting double pulled or not. And when Peyton's down there, if you put a shorty on him, he's just going to dodge the shorty and create offense. So it's big when he draws that pull. So we have guys like Sam, Luke, me that can get a short stick. And he's great. He creates a lot of offense for us.
All right, game plan us for Duke this weekend. What should we expect out there in the field? Going to be a hot one, right? Last I checked, down in Durham on Saturday.
But yeah, we're just going to play Syracuse lacrosse fast, have some grit, win the ground ball battle, and hopefully come back to Syracuse with a victory.
All right, sounds good, Michael. Safe travels that way. We'll be watching and listening on Saturday and the rest of the way. Thanks for hopping on, and best of luck.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, there he is, Michael Leo, the leading midfield scorer for the Orange. Of course, you can listen to the game this Saturday over on TK99. Tim and Kyle will be down at Koskinen. 2 o'clock face-off, 1:30 they'll have pregame. TK, well, that game's on TV somewhere. It's on one of the ESPNs. I know Quint's there. Quint is there. We texted with Quint earlier this week. Quint was busy this week. Quint's a high school assistant coach now, Quint Kesnick, so he was busy during the show. We'll catch up with him at some point before the end of the year for sure. I don't know. The game's on one of the ESPNs. Just the ACC Network. I don't know. It's just find it. Go click around. You'll find it. You'll find it on Saturday. Those Cuse Duke games, man, they have had some wild games over the years. And then, unfortunately, the last time Syracuse played a game that was in the Final Four, and specifically the championship game, it was against Duke. I prefer to remember that game when Syracuse was leading 5-0. The last 44 minutes or so, not important. Not important. All right, with that, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll get Mike in here. We'll do a little 411. We'll do that next. It's Cuse Sports Talk. It is ESPN Radio.